Hi guys, and welcome back to another F-Series Friday. Today we'll be talking about a returnee for the 2022 season, and we'll be talking about Alex Albon. So just make sure you like, subscribe and comment, and let's just get right into the video. So obviously we know he will be driving for Williams alongside Nicholas Latifi, and girls, I just want to know, were you happy with him coming back into Formula 1 for next season?
I was very happy.
Yeah, I was very happy too.
Yeah,
I'm sure Elliot was very happy.
Elliot was running around the flat, so he was very happy. Obviously, do you think, like, the question we're asking today is, will he succeed in the Williams? And when I think about Williams, like, I think now, I don't know why now, but obviously it was a very family team before. But since Claire left, and I hate saying this because I absolutely adore Claire, it just seems like a much happier team, and I really do feel like Alex is going into a team that will be working his way up to the grid. I don't know what you guys sort of think.
I agree. I said this somewhere the other day. It might have been to myself in my head, or it might have been to somebody. I don't know. But this is what I said. As much as I love Claire, and I love how much she wanted to hold on to that team with Frank, but there was just no momentum. There was no money. And now that Doralton have came in, there's money, there's momentum, and these people are happy. And I think Williams are going back to how they were before. Happy, going up the grid, getting them points. So I think it's going to be a lot nicer place for Alex to go into, rather than maybe 2 years ago, if he went in 2019, 2020, we would have been like, oh my gosh, is this going to be a good move for him? But I feel like the team are probably quite solid back midfielders now. They are really in that fight. I'd say they're a lot higher than the Alfa Romeos and the Hasses. So I think it's going to be a great place for Alex Albon to return to Formula 1 and kind of kickstart his career again.
Yeah, I definitely agree, especially on the Claire situation. I feel like what my view on it is that she had a lot of internal pressures from kind of everyone around her expecting so much from her as a daughter of Frank. And then I just feel like those pressures, external as well, all kind of she was focusing them on the rest of the team, and they were kind of being projected onto everyone else. And now that they don't have that pressure, I feel like they're working so much better. You know, we're even seeing them performances, or the performances that we want to be seeing from Nicholas Latifi. We're seeing amazing things from George. So I feel like Alex is a great guy to come in and kind of carry that momentum forward. I think he struggled a lot in the Red Bull environment because we know it is quite harsh and quite do or die. Toxic. And sink or swim, shall we say. Christian Horner likes to use that in Drive to Survive. And unfortunately, when Alex was at Red Bull, he sunk. But I think he could swim at Williams. And, you know, he'll keep his head... You know that meme where it's just like... that where you carry... No, I'm not explaining it very well. Where somebody's drowning. That was Alex at Red Bull. And then now he's being lifted above the water. And that's George lifting him.
Just insert the meme right here.
Okay, yeah.
Just perfect.
You are welcome.
Yeah, I definitely think Alex is going to fit into Williams really well. I am cautious about Williams' hopes next year. Obviously, we've got a big reg change coming up, and you can see that Williams have little by little built themselves back up from where they were in 2015-16. 17? Lance got a podium in 17.
18, yeah.
And you can see that they're starting to come back, and they are gaining momentum, and I am so cautiously optimistic about this momentum continuing despite the reg changes, and hopefully they can smoothly transition through that. They've got Nicholas staying in the team, so they've got that stability, and they've got Alex coming in, and we know that Alex is a class driver. So yeah, I'm actually really excited about this, and I think Alex was definitely the right choice for this team, because when you look at the other people who kind of were maybe contenders, I definitely think Alex is the sensible choice. And also he's already been racing and he's had previous experience in Formula 1, and I think as well with the reg change, it's going to be really beneficial for Williams to have two drivers who've been racing previously in Formula 1, compared to if they took on Jack, who's got an arm that doesn't work at the minute, or Nick, who's got experience like in a different series. So despite the fact Alex has been away and is coming back, I think it's a really sensible option.
Yeah, and if you just go on like what you said there, Alex hasn't even been away. Obviously, I know he hasn't been racing, but he's been reserve driver, he's been test driver, and he has been driving. I know it's DTM, and it's
DTM.
like different to Formula 1.
Don't forget, he did drive at Silverstone.
Yeah, he
Yes.
did recreated that whole situation. But like, it's like he's still driving and he's still there, and obviously being at the tracks as well, he's still in the sort of F1 bubble as well. So it'll be really interesting. And also with Nicholas, they've been teammates before. Like, they have vibes.
True,
Like, it's not going to
actually.
be like they don't know each other. It's like, it's not going to be like, oh, what's it going to be like? And I think it's going to be really nice for them to come in and just sort of, obviously when the new regs come in, just sort of develop it together and have the backing from the money and the sponsors. So I think that's really interesting. But yeah, do you think that Alex will come straight in and start outperforming Nikki, or do you think it's going to be quite even? Because I honestly don't know, because obviously I like Nicky, but sometimes I think he's not good enough. But his performances recently have been showing, okay, maybe he is good enough. So do you think Alex is going to come in, outperform, or do you think it's going to be quite equal?
I don't. Go on, Donnie.
I was going to say I genuinely am a bit scared about Alex's initial performances, because I know that whatever his first race is, it's going to set up the like critics, and if he comes in and has a rocky first race, which is totally acceptable, like he's been out the game and everything, I just know that it's gonna, like, the critics are gonna be there straight away like they were at Red Bull. And then we know that Alex is quite a like sensitive wee soul in the nicest possible way, and you can tell that he takes it to heart. So I really hope that his first race is good, because I do think that he is capable of outperforming Nikki, and I do think Alex is the better driver out of the two of them. But I think there's going to be just so much pressure to like start on the right foot and not kind of get caught up in this like media whirlwind as has happened in the past.
Yeah, I agree. I really hope that, I kind of hope that because he's not at the front of the pack like he was at Red Bull, that the media will be less on him than they were before. But I think it's so hard because George Russell has set such a precedent against Nicholas Latifi that people can't expect Alex to go in and do exactly the same thing, because George Russell is a better driver than Alex Albon. Unfortunately, sorry Alex, that is just the reality of it. So I think that you're never going to see a situation where Alex is doing what George has done, but I think you're going to see a situation where they are close and they are battling, kind of similar to how they were at Dams back in 2018. But I think that Alex probably will eventually, once he gets back up into it, go back into his form that everybody knows Alex Albon can do. So I think Nicholas Latifi kind of has one speed, and we do know that speed, and there's nothing extra you're going to get from Nicholas, I don't think. So with Alex, we know he can build himself back up, and we know what he can do, and we know his potential, and we know what he's done before. So that gives me a little bit more hope that I think once he gets into it and he gets into his rhythm, he will be faster than Nicholas.
Oh, you know I love Nikki. I do. But I do think Alex will be quicker, and I'm gonna kind of disagree with you and think that he's gonna come out stronger, because we saw how he performed in the Red Bull as soon as he got promoted. That first race at Spa was absolutely incredible from Alex, and you know there were some questionable moves towards the end. I think he passed Checo on the grass, and that was questionable. And then
sorry, I just thought of the rhyme.
It was a great debut, and I think that when we're going into these new regulations, it's almost like a clean slate. It's not like Nicholas is going to have an advantage from driving this car for the last few years. They're both going to be getting used to a brand new car. And I think that Alex is really good at coming in at the beginning and producing good performances, and almost then kind of falling off a little bit. So I hope that he doesn't fall off, because that's what I feel. Do you know what? I would liken him to Esteban Ocon this year, who kind of started off the year quite strongly while his teammate wasn't doing so well, then kind of dropped off, and then like came back and randomly won a race. I feel like that is kind of what we're going to see from Alex, that he's going to start off
win
much
a race.
stronger.
In a Williams.
Who knows?
Well, I mean, Esteban won at Hungary when it was a bit crazy. All it takes is one crazy race, and if Alex takes an opportunity of that, then fair enough. But yeah,
and we need Hamilton not to be near him.
Yeah.
Yes, Lewis, just take this weekend off, love. Go on.
At Austria, don't go near him at turn 4. Just don't do it. But yeah, I think that Alex, obviously, like you said, he's not going to be at the front of the grid. Well, we don't know. Williams might pour madness next year. Who knows? but he's not going to be like Red Bull. He's not going to have Max as his teammate, so there's not going to be comparisons all the time. And I do hopefully think that he can come out and like go straight from the starting blocks, do really well at Bahrain, and just be refreshed, because he's had that year away from it, like not completely away, but he hasn't driven, so he's had the refresh and learn like go to a different series and stuff like that. So hopefully it'll be really good. But like you said, like George Russell has been absolutely amazing. Do you think Williams, well, we obviously don't know because of the regs, but do you think we could see them getting more points next season? Like you said, Kira, they're not backmarkers anymore. They're fully in the fight. So do you think they could get more consistent points next season?
Oh, I do. I would still say that they're a backmarker. I don't think they're in the fight with the midfield drivers yet, because it's only been occasional points getting. So I do think that next year they will have made the strides to be comfortably in the midfield. That's what I'm trying to say. So I think it's going to obviously be very unpredictable, but the way I see it is that Williams are going to be pretty strong next year and will have made those strides, because they have speed this year. You know, it's clear that they've made huge developments with this car, and kind of with this new team. I think Jenson Button is now senior advisor. I don't know how much that is going to assist in car development, but I think that they're going to have a much more competitive... I can't remember what the question was.
You think they'll get more consistent points? That's the
Yeah,
question.
I do think they'll get more points, because they will have a stronger package from car development, and they will end up being firmly in the midfield fight. That's where I was going with that. Wow.
Why do you waffle so much? Yeah, I mean, as much as Steph still calls them backmarkers, I do think they are in that fight with the midfielders now, especially the last couple of races from what we've seen. They're not at the back with Haas, and I think that was the problem with Williams, and that's what George and Robert were saying a couple of years ago. They were just fighting themselves, whereas now they are fighting other cars. So I think the form of momentum is just going to carry on with them. I've always been a firm believer that the 2022 year for the regs isn't going to overly change things. I don't think all of a sudden you're going to see Williams at the front and Mercedes at the back, but I definitely therefore think that Williams are going to kind of be in the same place but going up. Like, I don't think there's a backwards from here. I think they've got too much forward momentum. I think they've got more money now, and they've got two great drivers for next year. So to answer the question, I think they're still going to score points next year, and it's going to be very good for them.
Yeah, I think one thing that we need to be cautious of, however, is that Williams are definitely going on the up, but Valtteri Bottas is going into that Alpha, and as much as we absolutely take the mick out of him, he is a Mercedes driver.
Mixing
the Haas. Silly Billy me.
Was that on Twitter or something? I saw that somewhere not long ago. I can't remember where I saw it.
Yeah, and I think Valtteri is going to bring so much knowledge to that Alpha, which is potentially, I'd say the Williams and the Alpha are getting to be a little bit on par, so I think it's going to be elbows out between those two, but I think Williams now have made the jump above Haas, which has Mick.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point, actually, but Alpha's going to have probably a rookie in their lineup. I mean, honestly, we have no idea who's... We're waiting for this announcement, but it could be that they have a really good experienced driver. Valtteri Bottas, Kimi Räikkönen, similar. And then we could end up with a Gio.
An experienced driver.
Yeah, let's hope not.
Let's just move on.
Horrible to Gio.
Sorry, Gio. I like him, I do.
Yeah.
I like his helmet design.
Yeah, as a person. I think we honestly will just have to see like what happens next season. I do think that they've got a quite good solid lineup, and I do think Alex will be able to go in and help, because he's had a year of experience being a test driver and giving back information on the car. So he could go around the Williams and test it and give back information on the car. So I do have hope for him. Obviously, we're going to see a sort of different dynamic, because is Nicholas going to adapt to Alex as well? If I was to ask you right now, I know it's literally next year, but where do you think they would come if they continue to rise with this new lineup? Because obviously we don't know, but like we're saying, are they back markers? Are they part of the mid team? So where do you think they would be next year?
7th or 8th in the constructors, I'd say. I reckon they can stick ahead of Haas unless they do this master plan they think they're going to do. I think they can still stick ahead of Alfa Romeo because, like as you said, even though Kimi's going to be replaced by Valtteri Bottas, I don't see Valtteri Bottas doing anything Kimi can't.
Yeah.
And then obviously you've either got Gio or probably Joe. So I would say 8th or 7th. You never know whether an AlphaTauri could drop. Aston Martin might still be on their decline. You just don't know. Sorry, you know how much I love them. But I would say 7th or 8th, yeah.
I'd say 7th. I think they can jump Aston Martin. And I think it will be Aston Martin that ends up falling down, which is so sad to say because I did predict that Aston Martin was being too overhyped at the beginning of the season. Look, lo and behold, I was correct. No, sorry, I did actually want them to succeed, but I don't know. I just feel like everyone else is making these forward strides, and they're making backward strides. So I think Williams, with this new fresh lineup, and hopefully consistency, I mean, that will separate Williams from the other drivers as well, and I think that that's kind of what AlphaTauri has done this year in kind of up their consistency in Pierre Gasly. Let's just not talk about UK. But AlphaTauri are consistent, which is why they're up there, and Aston Martin is not, which is why they're going down. So if Williams can get that consistency, they are solid 7th place drivers. But I do agree with Kira in that the regs aren't going to have this overnight effect. It will take a few years for us to see those regulations kind of come to fruition and see what kind of impacts they actually do have on Formula One.
I am going to be me, and I'm going to be edge on the safer side. I'm going to say 8th, and then I can get excited when they do better rather than say 7th and be disappointed. But yeah, I think it'll be Haas, Alpha, and then Williams.
Yeah, I have to agree. I would say 7th or 8th. Obviously, if Aston Martin do keep declining as they have been and keep being inconsistent, then I do feel like they can just keep dropping. But then that would also mean that Williams do have to up the game quite a little bit more than they have this year. But girls, do you have anything that you want to add about Alex Albon going to Williams at all?
I'm excited to see what the merch looks like. You know, I love a little bit of merch. I actually buy merch and then don't wear it. But I would like to see what it looks like. And then might buy some.
I'm intrigued to see if this is kind of going to be the end of his career with Red Bull because going forward, I think it's very unclear right now kind of in what capacity he's still connected to Red Bull. And I'm going to be intrigued because I think that the ties have almost been severed so that he can get this seat. But obviously Red Bull are keeping him on the roster. But with the amount of junior drivers they have, are they really going to bring back Alex Albon to an AlphaTauri or to a main team? And is he really going to go would he go to AlphaTauri when Williams are making these strides forward? So yeah, obviously that's not something we're really going to see next year, but will he have Red Bull on his helmet? That's interesting.
So.
I don't think
No, you won't.
There you go. Ties are severed.
Mm-hmm. They are. I have no
Okay,
records.
are we all done?
I think so. I think
on that note.
Yeah, I think we're done.
Also, I just want to say to Tomo and Hayden that you put that picture out, and we were actually all gassed about that, but it was actually just Steve. So
What was it? Oh, yeah.
Fake Photoshop.
We all
What
look
are
so
you talking about?
confused
And the
then.
group chat was just popping off, and then it was actually
I
announced
would
the
just
next
like
day.
to say I knew that was fake.
She's just such
That's
a good
it.
mind reader. She's just a sidekick. But anyway, thank you for watching this F-Series Friday. Let us know down below in the comments if you think Alex Albon will do well at Williams. And make sure you come back next F-Series Friday for another video. Make sure you like and subscribe too. Bye!